Shit, sorry. I launched it for you. Approaching so hard that my feet are like 3 feet under the. Oh, fuck. I got one more. Hold on. Still one and higher? Yeah, I got something. I guess it was that. Good. Sorry, bump. Bump. Right. Good, you. Bump.
3 guys.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2024 Chicago AVP Open. A great event here. With me on the call this morning is Megan Bergdorf, and I am Rob Espero, and we are in our final Heritage events of the 2024 season. We've got our number 9 seed, Tim Bomgren and Troy Field, facing off against the number 8 seed, Alison and Cory. Megan, what are your thoughts on this matchup? We dropped some good nuggets in our pre-discussion before jumping on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner. The last time and the only time these teams have faced off was in Wapaka. It went 3 sets, and the victory went to Alison and Cory. They're sitting right now in 6 and 7 position to qualify for the AVP League this fall. So I think the battle is going to be on right here in court number 1.
Well, one of the favorite athletes to watch, at least since we've been working this 2024 season for the AVP, has been the woolly mammoth, and we only call him woolly because of the facial hair, but he does go by the mammoth, and that's the former Olympian for Brazil, Alison Cerutti.
Yeah, I mean, he's the greatest champion coming out of Brazil, and he's recognized worldwide for being an example of an athlete. Like, he's such good sportsman, and he really brings a different flair to our AVP tour.
And then you have a reunited team of Tim Bomgren and Troy Field kind of going back and forth. Kind of like that old girlfriend or boyfriend he had in high school. You always go back to.
Yeah, very athletic, very dynamic. I like that they're partnering up here in this event. And it, like I said, we're going to see a lot of heavy swings. We're going to see a lot of, action, high action at the net. Troy Field is very dynamic. Jumps probably one of the highest verticals, if not the highest vertical on the AVP Pro Tour.
Well, speaking of high verticals, I'd have to say another person in contention for that would be Cory, the former Lincoln Memorial All-Star standout back in his college days, or we can call him the soon-to-be Mr. Savissimo, if you want to do that way. Cory, though, stands at 6'4", 6'3", from Bentayre, Louisiana, and Lincoln Memorial, as I said, but definitely for a small D2 school, he had his share of the highlight reels. He'd show up on the national reel just thumping balls indoors, and seeing him come to the game was such a natural for him. He's such a great passer and such a very high volley IQ player.
Well, and you say Lincoln Memorial, is a smaller school, but they are one of a few programs in the nation that are supporting men's collegiate beach volleyball, which, yes, is a thing. And there are also scholarships out there. They were in the national championship that was held in Huntsville, Alabama last year. So it's a very exciting program that really supports indoor and beach volleyball for men, which is something we're seeing a new trend come across the country.
Well, hopefully it moves more westward, but we're seeing some really good East Coast programs. And if you're not familiar with Lincoln Memorial, that's in Tennessee. And there are some good players coming out of that area because of John Hayden Beach.
Yeah, it's been really great that John Hayden has, set something up in the middle of the country. It's for girls, it's for boys, but he's really instilled that culture of that professionalism for the game.
So these two teams are hoping to get a piece of that $300K prize. What should we expect to see from this matchup here, Megan?
I think that Bomgren and Field are going to try to run that on-2 option or that spread offense with a jump set and running pin to pin to really make Alison move back and forth. I've seen him in a few other matches. He doesn't defend the on-two as well, but when he doesn't get one, he comes back with a heavy hammer himself. So I think that style of offense that we're going to see from Bomgren and Field, I think Alison and Cory are just going to play a little bit more traditional and work their angles high and low. It's going to be a bit of a jumper sand. We mentioned earlier today it's rained here in Chicago, so the sand has been compacted a little bit, which makes it even more dynamic.
Standing at 6'8" is Alison Cerutti. He's the most senior member or athlete on the court, but only by a year. Tim Bomgren comes in at 37 years old. As you see them greeting each other, wishing each other luck. Here in our 2024 AVP Chicago Open. Always a fun one when all these teams are involved. And this event is going to be a slugfest all the way through it, Megan.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to watch this one. To me, this is almost like a semifinal matchup.
You're looking at the court. We're waiting for first whistle. Bomgren going over towards Alison. Alison gets stuffed right out the gate.
What a monster block, opening it up from Troy Field. Have a look here how he loads deep and presses hands to ball off his head almost. He was jumping so high.
A tribute to Karch Karaivisor helping in with that block. He's getting his head right there on top of it. Good rip. Cory high set to Cerutti, and Cerutti lays down the leather. 1-1.
Yeah, you see him taking that big swing into the angle. Bomgren's going to be has to be on his defensive game here.
Evan Cory back to serve, the 6'3" defender. Got his first place at Denver here in 2024.
Diving block, I believe, drops in.
I believe so. 2-1 for Alison and Cory. Little contact underneath the net. You see the sportsman that Alison is checking in on Troy Field there. High ball in the middle by Bomgren, stuffed by Alison. And Alison is just a huge physical presence at the net.
Absolutely, and here's the interesting thing. A lot of people jump super high for the ball. Alison just presses those big hands right into the ball, nice low over, seals that net. There's nowhere to go on a tight set.
Going deep over towards Bomgren. Bomgren looks and shoots with a left hand.
That's a nice shot, and I anticipate Tim Bomgren running his offense out of the middle a little bit more frequently in this matchup because he has that nice shot on that opposite short shot.
Bomgren, the 6'4" defender from Woodbury, Minnesota, finds him in Minneapolis now. And Alison misses long in that high line shot.
Yeah, interesting. He opens up with the offensive, going down the line, gets a big stuff block on it. Having trouble to establish that line is Alison.
Cory on the attack, and he rips it down the line. Fast beat to the pin.
Yeah, I love how dynamic he is, getting out of the sand, going to get that ball super fast, picking it off at the peak of that apex set.
Four serving at 3. Alison on the serve. Goes deep but misses long. Pretty aggressive serve there with a lot of pace on it, but there definitely is movement on that jump float that he hits.
Absolutely, and you can see on the flags on the left side, there is some wind to factor in here at Oak Street Beach.
Service ace delivered on the court, 5-4 on the, as they take the lead out the Bomgren serve. Bomgren listed at 6'4", went to Wisconsin Eau Claire. He's played in 79 AVP events as he misses wide on that float serve.
Trying to establish both deep corners, obviously, and perimeters, and that's what we'll see with these elite men's teams. And there's 16 of them. It's going to be an awesome tournament right here.
Going to that short serve. Correction. Cory, and Alison just takes it in that deep angle for that winner, 6-5.
And if I'm Alison, I'm going to keep cashing in on that deep angle swing. He's found a lot of success there. Diving block by Bomgren, a little bit of a change of role there.
Well, switch block action for Bomgren and Field. I wonder what they're seeing that's making that do that switch.
I think it's also on their side, switching up that defensive play and seeing if you can get a read on Alison.
Field goes down the line towards Alison. Option ball by Cory. Knuckle dig by Bomgren. Goes over. Alison unloads. The mammoth drops one in the corner.
I mean, it's absolutely textbook. High set, swing so sharp on the inside of that block. That block has no opportunity, tagging that perimeter sideline.
Tough serve down the line by Alison. Somehow gets it by, dug by Field off the cable. Knuckle pokey by Bomgren. It's the only place he could have gone.
But that's what I'm talking about with Tim Bomgren running out of the middle. It looks kind of easy and effortless, but the work had been done in advance of that play actually being, that ball being contacted. He runs nice on the inside. He has 4 open corners. He just needs to find the open sand.
Bomgren testing out, wanting to go down towards Cory, but serves it in the net. 8-7. Cory listed at 6'3", had his best into Denver this year, the first, his 9th AVP season. Good dig by Bomgren. Bomgren goes that southpaw sizzle. Cory goes that southpaw sizzle.
It's so nice, and the lefties to the lefties. I mean, that's a really well-established arm swing there. High elbow, coming on top of that ball with that middle finger, working that sideline and that sharp angle.
Cory going to that short game in area 4. High ball set to Field, and he just goes to the off-speed roller.
And I like you saw that Alison was ready for the on-2 on the short serve. That often happens with a short serve, but they chose to make that set and play and still picked up the point there. That's a very smart play against a big block like Alison.
Off the cable pass by Alison. Good hand set by Cory, and taking care of business is Alison.
Finding, I believe, his first line shot there, working off the hands of Field. Nicely executed touch there.
Alison's mobility at age 38 is pretty amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, he's the greatest of all time coming out of Brazil.
Taken on the block, the outside is Troy. Field going just inside the block of Alison.
And Troy just getting over the top there. A little bit of nick. You saw Alison probably picking up a little jammed finger there, hitting the tops of those hands.
Bad pass saved by Alison. Cory still delivers. That's being resourceful on the broken play.
Absolutely, and catching the defense a little bit in a disruptive moment. Right down the middle, kind of threads it right between the two of them. That's a nice shot.
Cory now testing Bomgren in that deep corner. Bomgren bombs away out the outside.
Great job, Tim.
We're seeing
hitting out of the right side is wicked.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so dominant. And we're starting to see on both of these teams working that sharp angle, deep angle. So I would anticipate, we're in our technical timeout, seeing if they start to change up that blocking strategy ever so slightly to shut down those power swings in the angle.
We'll take this moment to talk about the AVP League and how these teams are trying to either move up in the points, because they are in the top 8 so far, staying at the 6 and 7 spot, with Alison and Cory at 6 and Bomgren and Field at the 7. But how exciting is this AVP League going to be, Megan?
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I love the concept. I love the growth across the country. And I think it really helps the development of fansmanship and that locality. I mean, we see it in the collegiate game. We're going to see it here on the AVP Pro Tour in the league. And it's great because we're going to different areas that are big sports culture hubs across the country, and we're going to see the best of the best battle it out. I mean, what other place would you like to be besides the AVP League?
Now they're going to kick it off September 14th and 15th at the UCLA Tennis Center. Then they head over to the Hard Rock Tennis Center in Miami, Florida for the 21st and 22nd. Then they come back to the West Coast, Viejas Arena, which is a huge arena, September 28th and 29th. And then we'll go into play. We'll talk about the other areas. As we see a service there, might as well hit that up now. HEB Center at Cedar Park, which is in Austin, Texas, the weekend of October 5th and 6th. Alison back to serve, up 12-10. Bomgren, good hand set. Better overhand dig by Cory, and swinging around and knocking it down is Troy Field on the shake and bake play.
It's a really nice first dig by Evan Cory. Had his hands up and nice diving block. I mean, Alison is so big to work around. That was a really nicely executed play.
Alison, good pass. Really high set in the middle. Bomgren steps in to take the bomb. And little crossbody cut action by Bomgren finds us in.
That was a bomb because he handled that, the heat from Alison's hit so well and had such control on that contact with a low under the ball contact point.
Working that short game. Alison on the pass. Alison going to the finesse.
Nice move.
Touch and go action by Field, unsuccessful to find us in.
And that's one of the hardest shots, I think, in beach volleyball for a defensive team to pick up. It's high enough over that blocker. They have to land loaded and make that big first step movement, finding that ball. And also, it's right, maybe just too short for that defender to get. It's a nicely executed shot.
High set to the right side and a soft roll over the block by Bomgren. See that move by Evan Cory, which opened up that line shot for Bomgren. 13-13. High bump set going off the block is Alison. Second ball bombing run by Field. Wow, look out below.
Wow, absolutely great turn by Troy Field, catching Alison a little bit off guard there. Did not think he could almost pirouette in the air and make that onto hit because his body started off facing away from the net.
Alison on the pass, and Alison unloads at the left side, tied at 14s.
And I like this is a battle back and forth, back and forth. So service aggressiveness here is going to be a factor. Blocking, and if you can get that dig and transition it into a kill, that's going to be the difference here in this matchup.
And both teams are hitting north of 450 right now. Field on the pass. Field dug by Cory. Great save by Alison. Looks like it goes outside the antenna, so point going to Bomgren and Field. On the attack, hitting error free is Tim Bomgren. 4 kills, 0 errors, hitting 800 so far. Set to the outside, and Alison abusing the block of Troy Field. 15-0.
Yeah, he's swinging that line shot a little bit low, trying to use those hands of Troy Field, who's going up super high, not looking to clear those blocking hands. The alternative is bang inside those blocking hands, and he's been very successful there as well.
Cory serving short over towards Field, and Field is denied at the net by the Mammoth. Just pressing over, taking out any daylight that's there.
Absolutely, the Mammoth block. For sure, another one on his stats.
Tough serve into the seam, stepping in and take it is Field, and Field goes high off the block of Alison.
And that's a smart shot when in trouble. Not the best in-system play, but bringing a lot of control on that hand contact.
Yes.
Troy Field stepping back to serve. Field, 6 kills, 2 errors, hitting 333 in the first set. And there's that bombing run again by Alison. He hits such a heavy ball.
I mean, it really is a masterclass. Kicking out big, huge runway step close, high arm over the block, and a nice long finish on the ball.
Tough standing floats are going old school as Alison.
Causing a lot of disruption there. I think they're going to call a timeout, and they do. Good timeout called. Any more than 2 points really in a matchup like this, the game can really get away from you. So I think that's a very strategic and well-used timeout from Bomgren and Field.
They're looking at Alison and his accomplishments. It's like, what haven't you accomplished so far? It's 3-time Olympian in Brazil, in London, and Rio, while getting silver and gold in the latter two, and is an Olympian in Tokyo as well. Best blocker, best hitter, best offensive player, most improved player, team of the year, tour champion, all in the FIVB, and then comes over to the AVP. It's his 13th AVP event, as best as the first at Virginia Beach with Billy Allen in 2023. And he's been doing even more at Denver with Evan with their first place there as well.
I think that's his next challenge, is to be the champion of the AVP. So he's racked up all of those accolades. This is a new and fresh challenge for him.
At a mere age of 38, why not?
I love it. I mean, he stands at 6'8". You know, you can afford to lose a few, centimeters or inches on that jump.
Well, it's like, is Phil going to retire? Good pass by Field. Field rolls it down the line. Great anticipation play by Cory. Off the block. Ball's coming over, and cracking it at the right side is Troy Field.
And you saw a little bit of that switch blocker defender role between Alison and Evan right there. That could have been enough to allow Troy Field to see that line and to execute that offensive attack.
It's like a one-step approach by Field. 17 looking at 18. Bomgren back to serve. Good pass by Alison. Alison wiping high off the block.
Yeah, again, he's found a lot of success doing that. I would continue to say he's going to work those high hands of Troy Field. Troy may even want to decide to pull his hands down on one of those. He's gotten a lot off that high right hand.
I love it when the blocker pulls their hand away and the attacker shoots and just hits it way long out of play.
Yeah.
Field going for the extreme angle but misses wide.
I mean, he had his defenders stopped. They weren't touching that one for sure. Unfortunate miss just there on that sideline. I like that he's going for it. That's what's needed.
Set points serving to 17. Field gets the honors off serve receive. Field denied, just swatting it like an unwanted fly. Is Alison to take the first set 21-17.
And he's so good. Look, he delays and swats. It's a really nice, there's different timings in blocking. There's fast, there's medium, there's slow, and then there's the delay and swat. And Alison, obviously, one of the greatest blockers out there, has that dialed in on that timing so precisely.
I want to encourage all of you as we've concluded our first set to chime in on the crowd zone. Let us know where you're watching from. Any thoughts you may have, and Megan and I will try our best to respond either live on the broadcast or in the chat room. But I want to get Megan's thoughts after one set of play between these two highly and hotly contested teams.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are hitting a 400 or higher. That's extremely proficient offense. So for me, it's going to come down to blocking. We have one for Field and Alison on the stats. I think there's maybe a few more there. But service, aces, blocks, and digs. So digging and defense is going to be a huge one here. Can they set up their defensive patterns, either with that one block, 2, 3s, 4s, or 5s, setting it up, trying to get just one dig and transitioning that into a kill? That is a huge point at this level of play.
We're about ready to get started here in our second set with Alison and Cory up 1-0. Cory back to serve, the 6'3" defender from Metairie, Louisiana. And another block for the Mammoth. Looks effortless for him, Megan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he has that nice deep load. And that's the thing about Alison. I mean, he has a deep load, so he gets out of periphery of Troy Field. Troy Field's jumping so high. He loses that vision because it's much lower than him. See here what he does on that deep load. Goes over the top there on that one. It's very hard to see somebody who has that deep load of block, and that's why we see that trend moving in that direction.
One serving to one, Bomgren. Wonder what they're seeing as to why they're serving Alison so much. As Alison delivers high off the block and field.
I would imagine that here, Alison has a very predicted path. You know exactly where that's going. He brings in the heavy swing, trying to get either the block or the dig. Evan's a little bit more crafty, and he has very good copy and paste technique, so he's able to move that ball around. Just a little bit harder to read on defense.
You have an attack error by Troy Field. Good swing, but missed wide. As you see on the replay here, about a foot out of play.
Nicely designed play. A little bit of pressure right now here on Troy Field.
And option ball winner by Tim Bomgren.
Yeah, relieving that pressure on his partner is Tim Bomgren. Helping Troy out. He's got to find a rhythm here.
Still working Alison and serve receive. Option ball,
great touch.
Great touch, exactly.
Great touch. I actually think Tim Bomgren could have had that if he would have been a little bit more chill on that third contact. I think he could have saved that. Right now,
touching is so important in beach volleyball. One of the quotes that sticks out, actually, Richie Lamborn said, touches lead to opportunities and opportunities lead to points.
Absolutely. I love that. Troy Field currently hitting a negative .333. So the pressure is on there. The balance has been shifted a little bit here in the start of set number 2.
See Aaron Wex in the crowd zone. Should teams be forced to play with each other for a full season? I think that's definitely an item for discussion after this league format. Good swing by Cory.
A little chicken wing attempt there by Troy. You can see how he's walking off a bit frustrated. I do think Tim can maybe get a touch on that if he lands loaded and gets that one big first step off. I think the league will be interesting in playing together. What we see a lot right now in beach volleyball in the United States, it's a lot of partner changing and partner hopping. If you're looking at the stats, you know, in the last AVP, the teams that are doing well in the few seasons before and on the World Tour are playing together longer. Yes, you have the honeymoon period, but you have a lot of results and consistencies. It's kind of like you get to write each chapter of the book rather than rewriting chapter 1 over and over again. So there's a lot of growth.
Excellent analogy there, Megan.
Yeah, and there's a lot of growth and proficiencies that as two individuals you get to work through by having a longer time working together.
Evan Cory throwing down out of the right side. But I definitely have to draw attention to one of the plays before that. Bomgren's keeping you honest. Option ball, the set over on 2. Alison on the serve over towards Field, and Bomgren goes off of Alison on the late block.
Absolutely. I mean, when Alison's serving, I'd be going on 2 on him as well. It's working really well. You know, you're bailing out your partner a little bit on that pressure. Troy has some space now to, you know, have reprieve and get back to work.
Alison hits that one in the top cable, falls on their side. 3-5-6.
Not often we see Alison hit into the net.
What really sticks out about Alison is, for a big, his passing is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alison off the cable again, but this time dug by Field. Joust, and Field flossing his teeth in the early morning matchup.
Yeah. That's a nice back set there. good press. He wanted it so bad. And that's, you know, he just jumps. Troy Field just jumps so high. He actually loses the top of the net in his periphery. And that's why it's frustrating for him, because he's making huge dynamic plays.
Good pass by Field, and Field goes up and over the block of Alison.
Alison took a late dive there, and good vision from Troy Field to really work it down that line. I believe they're probably still going after Alison. Work the blocker, make him fatigued. It's getting hot there in Chicago.
Big 2-ball attack. Alison again pops a cap in the corner. 8-6 on the turn.
Actually good blocking work by Tim Bomgren there to pick up the on-2, step, and land. Starting to see that swing block creep in a little bit, even in the Olympics as well, to defend both the on-2 and the hit.
Aaron Wax following up on the question about teams staying together. It would be help fans get behind teams. I always wonder at the players' side, though, they want to win, so they want to get their best partner available, which is what we saw a lot of, the reason why we saw a lot of newer partnerships this season.
A nice shot there, easy off tempo, hitting the back line by Troy Field. He's starting to rebuild that personal momentum on his offense. Now hitting a 2.86, so tides are turning. Bomgren Field hitting a 400, Alison and Cory a 5.71.
See that service error making it 9-7 now as you look at Evan Cory back at the service line. And Field just not afraid of swinging away no matter how big the block is.
Absolutely. He takes a big, nice approach, huge step close, working up on those high hands of Alison again.
The fans beginning to fill in as you've seen that last view, the end line. More and more people showing up to get later in the day. Alison takes a swing. I believe it's called long, 9-9.
It's hard to see that end line. It matches right with the bottom of the net tape there.
Overpass, as I gave him props for being a good passing big, and Field feasts on it.
Yeah, you see they're working Alison into the middle. So actually, Evan could possibly step in and pass that as well, but they're leaving it to Alison, so it's making him work even more. Inside pass again, has to kick out, rips it away in that deep angle.
You know, I'm going to give props to the set by Evan Cory. It's a beautiful set to the pin.
Absolutely.
Reading the Wilson logo as Alison just lights it up inside the block. Bomgren with a high pass. Alison with the denial, unless there's a double call, because everyone kind of stopped playing on that one.
Yeah. We'll see here.
Guess it's just a block, no double call. So good block by Alison once again as we go into our technical timeout with a narrow 1-point lead in the second set. And these teams are really going at each other, Megan.
Yeah, offensive stats have improved for Bomgren Field, so they're back in the running. They started to settle. I think Troy's in a rhythm here. Big blocking, big offensive movement starting to happen. We're seeing the on-twos, we're seeing the spread offense coming out of Bomgren Field. They had to change something. If you run something very traditional against Alison, a huge mammoth block, you're not going to be able to beat them. So having that offensive spread, the variety, tempo setting, those are all things that Bomgren and Field need to use to really take down Alison and Cory.
You know, I say that in relation to the strategy also. You can see what they're doing with Alison and the switch blocking by Field and Bomgren. But also...
Right. They're not leaving that net open at all.
Slapping it down the lines, Bomgren. And knocking it down is Field, tying up at 11s.
And that was a nice play. I think Cory could have had that again, a little bit longer contact there. He made a great read. A little bit of side spin on that ball coming off of Troy Field's hand.
First time we've seen a roll shot by Alison, but easily picked up by Bomgren or by Field, and knocking it down on 2 is Cory.
And that's a great defensive play by Alison and Cory. Didn't get the first offensive attack, but picked up the second one, and that is a very big point.
Tightening up here as we reach the middle of our second set. Cory floats in that shallow area too, but thumping onto is Troy Field.
Yeah, and what is so nice about this, we kind of know this play gets teed up on a short serve for the on-two, but this time Bomgren sends that pass off to the left side of the middle, which opens up that opportunity to rip it down the line for Troy Field.
And hammering in that same cross-court angle is Alison.
It's really interesting to watch Alison, because if he's got caught or he was not happy with his own play, the heaviest hammer comes out the next play with authority and makes a statement almost every time.
Again, there's that call he had on Alison. He serves that standing float serve. Bomgren immediately hits it over on 2.
And that has to be part of their strategy, is to pick up on that, especially when Alison is coming from the big angle on the run.
Big block at the net by Bomgren. Covered. Set out to the outside to Cory by Alison. And they get the winner as he tips his hat over to Evan Cory. Playing to the crowd.
I really love watching him play. He's just such a great sportsman.
Great snap down the line by Cory, though. The big man getting dirty to keep the ball in play, leading that point. 14 serving to 13. Cross-court dig by Cory. Cory takes an approach, but had too much momentum and hit the ball with too much gas.
Unfortunate error there, because that was a really nice dig and pickup. If they could have just kept it alive, they'd have another chance there. Bit of a scramble play.
Tying it up at 14. She's looking at Bomgren back to the service line. 6-4 split. Mainly defending I've been seeing more of, but from Woodbury, Minnesota. He's had 14 events with Troy Field in his career, and Evan Cory just dropping it down the line.
It's a nice set there by Alison. Haven't had many opportunities in this matchup. And Cory with, that over-the-top, down-the-line shot, nicely executed because he held his hips in that sharp angle.
And line.
High pass. Winning out and looking for hands with Bomgren. Did he get him? Looks like he's unsuccessful trying to get the fingertips of Alison on that block.
And that's unfortunate. I think that set's too tight with the matchup against Alison there.
Going off the block is Bomgren.
And that's a better set because Bomgren can actually have the vision. It needs to be 3 to 5 feet off. If you're watching the Olympics too, that standard of setting off the net is huge. It gives the hitter the opportunity to actually perceive what's happening, specifically when you have a huge dynamic block like Alison.
Cory going outside and delivering down the line, changing it up is Alison.
Bomgren made a nice move there, but you saw his hands go outside to inside. Rather than the inside to outside, taking up more space, it actually became smaller space.
Yeah, very nice.
Bomgren just an easy wipe over the top of Alison, 16-17.
And again, that happens when that set is off and he can have that space to work and get that ball a little bit sooner to have that over that 6-8 reach block.
Right side attack by Cory's denied by Field. Great set by Field in transition in the cover, and Alison takes care of business, 18-16.
Wow, what a set by Cory right there. Nice out of system to in system, picking up a big kill.
Bomgren field timeout. I feel it coming. Like you were saying, if you're up by 2, slow down some momentum. There you go. Adjust the lines. Kill some time. Get that extra breath in there. Or breather. Teams are hitting great balance. 476 and 474. And dropping it down the line. Bomgren, a little off the net set, but still able to get some heat on it. Alison unable to get a good platform up or hands up for the dig.
Yeah, you saw him stumble a little bit there. Not a person who's often dropping. Got caught up, I think, on his footwork there.
Or the sand monsters, we like to. We want to give the athletes credit.
Sand monster or sand snake, depending on where you're coming from.
Come on, try one time, buddy.
17 serving 18. Field with 8 kills here in our second set. Bump set to the right pin. And taking it down the line again is Evan Cory.
Nice, good pass from Cory. Steps into the middle. I love when the lefties run out of the middle. It's very deceptive, and they have a lot of open court there to use.
Cory now with 7 kills. He's hitting 667 just in this set. Knuckle. Another knuckle by Field picked up by Cory. And swinging hard in a way, but getting stuffed is Cory. And Field doing the honors of the wall of shame block. Kind of caught it there for a second, Megan.
I think that's what they're actually challenging, is that it was a catch.
We saw that on Instagram earlier in the year on the Taylors. Same thing by Troy Field. He had caught a ball and swatted it down. 18-19. Must-win set for Bomgren and Field. And knocking it down the line, bringing us to our first match point, are Alison and Cory. Match point 18 with Alison back to serve. Bomgren denied, covered by Field, and bringing it is Bomgren on that southpaw sizzle in the broken play.
Wow, that was an absolutely epic play. Troy with the fadeaway, and Bomgren just releases on that in that deep corner. Excellent pro-level, top-level play right there.
That diving bump set by Field ended up in such a great location for Bomgren.
Second, guys. Make sure the score's right.
You're trying to correct the server here, and the R2 is speaking with Troy Field, not quite sure and make out what they're saying. Good tough serve over towards Alison. Alison knocks it down the line, and I believe a double was called on the set.
Yeah, it looks to be that handset was called.
So this is 19 serving to match point number 3. And using and abusing the block is Alison. There's something wonky going on with our score bug here. Jumped a couple points.
And Tim Bomgren going up nice and high. Almost too high that attack went off of his forearm.
They have called the set on that last ball, 2020. At the feet drop away from the referee, so couldn't see the call. Bomgren goes off the block and play. We've got a reversal of fortune now.
Wow. Great battle there by Bomgren and Field to put it to them.
That just goes off the block, and the point went the wrong way on the score bug. It went towards Cory and Alison, but it's now tied at Blackjacks, 21-all. Alison going for that deep corner, but this time misses long. First time, I believe, with that attack error going that angle.
Absolutely. Very unlike him. Taking a timeout, slowing this down. What a great, great comeback by Bomgren and Field. Absolutely perfect.
That set to the outside, and I believe this is the second set point for Bomgren and Field. Something crazy went with the score bug, showing a set point for Alison and Cory, and all of a sudden jumping back up with the set point going for Field and Bomgren, and now they are serving their, what would be their second set point. Looking at Evan Cory on the screen with the trademark zinc nose action.
Bomgren currently hitting a 600, Field a 588, Alison a 308, and Cory a 700. Only one block recorded for Alison, and no service aces. Lots of digs out there for Cory, and 2 for Field is what's showing for this set.
And it's set point for Bomgren and Field number 2, serving at 21. Deep serve to Alison. Alison hits it wide.
Very very uncharacteristic for Alison to have 2 back-to-back hitting errors coming in with that heavy hammer. He always relies on it. I actually thought coming into this matchup that we would go 3. And I love that Bomgren and Field totally found their rhythm and jived at the end of this matchup. You can see the excitement there. Totally different demeanor than when they started set number 2.
Well, with that 23-21 victory in the second set means we're going to a third set tiebreak to continue on our trend here in our AVP Chicago Open, with our first match on court 1 going 3, and now this one going 3. And what did you see as the key to Bomgren and Field's victory in the second set? I mean, there's one thing that really catches my eye particularly, but it's not on their side, it's on the Alison and Cory side. The attack errors by Alison.
Yes, absolutely. I think the overall strategy, fatigue Alison, put pressure on, work him, move him around. I mean, they're not just serving to him. They're serving in the middle of the court, almost over the midline, where Cory could step in and pass that if they wanted to. So he's being fatigued every single time. They're running tons of on-2. That was very successful for them. Their setting has completely improved. And keeping Tim off the net, so he has the vision. I think that was a big thing as well. And they made just a few of those defensive dig transition into kill plays, and those are all the difference.
Well, looking at the amount of attack errors for Alison at 4, he's only hitting 214 in that second set, and obviously they're hoping to turn that around, because he was hitting over 500 in the first set. So you look at that first serve pass by Field. Field off the net, and Alison, what a good way to get back into the action of the match, Meg.
Yeah, I think Alison's going to play extremely proficient and very technically sound here, especially in these first 5 points.
1-0. Well, inside set, and Field goes off the block of Alison, does the splits, and the good sportsman that Alison is helps him up.
The other time these two teams faced off in Wapaka and it went 3, it was Alison and Cory winning 21-19, 18-21, 15-11. So we're in a very similar scenario here in Chicago.
Looks like a net was called on Field on that attack. Says 2-0.
Coming out of the left hand. A little bit of a fast finish there.
Hey, get me back right now, okay?
See Field knocked it inside the block. 1 looking at 2. Cory high set and a roll shot, believe it or not, by Alison with a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, we don't often see Alison going down the line on a high line shot. Normally he's going in for those hands. Nicely executed. That's great to shake up that defensive pattern and what they've been seeing.
Good. Left.
Deep serve over towards Field. Wrist away winner by Field.
That was a really nice angle, and that ball was crossing over about 2 or 3 feet to the left side of Alison there, making it very difficult for that defender. Cory maybe stuck a little bit behind Alison on that tight lineup.
2-3 on the switch. We're already in play. And hammer it by is Evan Cory.
Again, with going to Cory, if he's picking up a ball, he brings in a very fast tempo, fast arm swing, and he goes and picks up the top of the ball. So you have to be ready as a defender. Your hands have to be more in that neutral position because you don't have time to prepare. You must be prepared.
Roll shot down the line, misses wide by Field. Unforced error makes it 5-2. High ball in the middle, cutting it just outside the block is Bomgren.
Nice little sneaky shot. You see his left hand crossing again. We're talking about moving that cut shot away from the blocker so they can't even press, dive, or drag those hands into that block motion.
Two ball attack by Cory goes for the winner at 6-3.
Cory and Cerutti looking very calm and comfortable here in this tiebreak set, taking an early lead and a big advantage.
A little miscommunication on the play of the Bomgren Field side.
Yeah, baby!
And taking care of business is Evan Cory as he lights it up.
Evan. That's a statement. It's a beautiful set by Alison, pushing it out there, using a lot of legs to lift it, give it a nice high apex. And Cory coming in fast and hard again, picking it off. He just does such a nice job right there at the very top. And swinging it down. Bomgren not actually closing that line with his left hand, that outside left hand. That's really important as a blocker. If you are blocking a true one or line block, that outside hand that's next to the antenna has to press straight onto ball. It cannot leave a gap between that antenna and that hand, as if so, it's threading the needle from that hitter down the line.
Third set tiebreak. It's a big deficit for Bomgren and Field at 7-3.
I expect them to come back a little bit. They'll have a little pause here. They'll realize they need to bring in that on-2. They have to have offensive variety. They have to take it to him on the service line. Again, moving Alison. Cory has picked up a number of balls, either the pass or the defense, and that's making a lot of difference. He's also going on too. Alison's a bit fatigued. Alison has a nice, long, extended platform. It's very easy for Evan Cory to see where that ball's going, and he's taking full advantage of it.
Troy Fields hitting a -167 with 3 attack errors here in our third set alone. Joust up top, one out by, looks like they're going to go Fields' way. Ball gets trapped and stopped in midair and goes out of play.
Nice joust there. Again, a little bit of a tight set against Alison's big block.
Alison blocked at the net by Field.
And that is a monster block by Troy Field. Absolutely nicely timed by him. Taking up a lot of space. Deep load, big hands, hand to ball pressure, and redirection that ball.
Firing out to the pin is Field, and Alison goes cross court on the blast, 8-5.
I like that Tim had a touch on that, but again, hands not really active and ready on that one. Yes, he has a nice diving stab into it, but it's too fast sending that ball up and over and out of bounds to the other side rather than absorbing that heat and that power to keep that on his half.
Cory back serve goes deep down the line over towards Field, and Field is denied by Alison.
And that's another nice block by Alison there. Again, nice deep load, hands to ball. That right hand, again, securing the line. We just talked about that a few plays ago. On that big line block, that hand next to the antenna must secure that hand on ball push motion.
Good deep serve over towards Field. High ball set to the right pin, and Field fires on that hard angle.
And that's just a really nice sharp angle swing by him. Nice high over, finishes that right hand into that left pocket, we call it, on the arm swing. Good transition, again, offensively changing what they're doing, running a back set this time. Have to have some variety in offense.
Two ball attack covered by
Opportunity here.
Bomgren.
Yeah, baby, come on.
And lighting it up again down the line is Evan Cory, who's taking care of that two ball pretty good.
And right here, this is a nice play by Evan Cory going down the line. Troy Field not securing that line because his partner's camping in that angle defense. So he really needs to make sure that line is his duty.
Go, go.
Looking at this ball here, we got the attack. Was there a touch on that one? I guess not. As Alison serves it up, 11-6 is the lead. Another block by Alison, the Mammoth, extending the lead, 12-6.
And for me, if you're running something traditional, pass, set, hit, and you're staying in that lane 4 where Tim Bomgren is, you're not really working Alison. He's not moving right to left. I would say a pin set or out of the middle is going to be the most beneficial for Troy and Tim right now.
Looping roll shot by Bomgren. Cory on the attempted save, but unable to control it into the field of play. We're back into the court. Seven serving to 12. Bomgren listed at 6'4", goes towards Alison in the strategy for the whole match, and he goes to his high line roll for the winner, 13-7.
And that's nice because Alison doesn't use that off-tempo high line shot that often. And when he does, he's very good in executing, making it move fast to the ground, allowing that shot to be available when he needs it. You can see a little bit of fatigue on the jump there. Maybe it's a misconnection too, to be in that powerhouse swing.
Pass right on top by Bomgren. Bomgren denied, and Alison making his presence known here in the third set. After Meg called him out for no blocks, he gets back to backers.
Yeah, and I can't tell from the angle we're looking at if that set is too tight or just not getting out to the pin, because Tim has to go high and over or swing inside. You have to avoid Alison.
Got a match point for Cory and Alison, and wiping it off the block, unless there's a call. And I believe we are done as Evan Cory wipes it off the block for a point, set, and match, going to our number 6 seed. Correction, our number 8 seed. Alison and Cory, as they win 2 sets to 1, 21-17, 21-23, and 15-7. Megan, let's get your thoughts here on the match that we've seen here on Court 1, our second of the day at the AVP Chicago Open.
I think Alison and Cory played a very smooth and consistent match. They didn't make many errors. However, set number 2 kind of came in offensively a little bit from Alison. That was thanks to the strategy of Bomgren and Field, but Bomgren and Field just didn't look like they were connecting enough offensively. Maybe sometimes the sets were too tight, maybe not far enough out or in to get those offensive side outs, specifically out of serve receive. I think a nice job, I mean, strategically from Alison and Cory working, banging on the inside, Alison getting worked. So doing a very nice job holding stable and being consistent.
Well, Megan, we've got our third match on court number 1 coming up. It's the number 3 seed of Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander facing off against our number 14 seed, Wyatt Harrison and Brian Miller. That's coming up here in about 10. For all of you sticking with us, thanks for listening in. Be sure to check out more action here on the Bally Live app. The coverage continues all day long in the 2024 AVP Chicago Open.